Got him at 16.
Oh, yeah.
John, can you show the John? Show the camera.
You like that?
Very good.
Yeah. I think they made. Check this out. They got that on there, Rob.
What's
And then I think on the look at that on the inside. TNT.
Good Lord.
Huh? How
I
about
thought you
that?
could only get that on bracelets.
What's Connor's favorite player?
He's like KD's.
KD 9?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, he knows Curry, like everybody else. Okay. You know, obviously came off there the long road trip. We looked at the film today. We took yesterday to get mentally and physically refreshed and ready. We traveled together, and all of us were together there for 5 days. So I thought as important as anything was to try to give them a chance to take a deep breath, get their minds and bodies right heading into today. So we practiced today. We were really good today. Guys looked rejuvenated with season 3 obviously on the brink tomorrow. Fresh start. And, you know, we talked a lot today about, you know, what we learned, certainly from last week. You know, unfortunately for us, we didn't come out on top on Sunday, but we did a lot of really good things. I showed them those things. I showed them some things we needed to clean up. You know, the resiliency that we had when we got down 53-43, we need to have that all the time. But I thought we really did some good things. So some guys really competed, and that was great to see. So we got to build on that, and obviously, you know, for us right now, as you head into tournament, one of the things we always talk about with our guys is doing everything in our power to try to be better than that team on that given day. And, you know, we put obviously our game plan in today. It is the 3rd time that we played Minnesota, so there's quite a bit of familiarity there, especially since we played them quite recently. So that part, from a preparation standpoint, I always say that teams will wrinkle a thing or two. We certainly will, or adjustment here or there. But by the time you get to the end of this, you kind of are who you are, and you've got to do what you do well and try to play to your strengths. So talked a lot about that, had a good workout today. Guys seemed to be very spirited, had a great deal of energy, and very talkative today, which was good. Communicated well and seemed to be excited to head to Indianapolis here when we get finished with the presser. We'll head to Indy and get ready to tackle Minnesota tomorrow. Questions?
John, it's been obviously a down season for the team, but Malcolm Hill getting 2nd team All Big Ten. What do you think of that honor for him, given what he's done for you?
Yeah, I think Jeremy, it's well deserved. I mean, obviously he's, you know, it's been well documented all that he's done. The thing I'm most proud of him the other day was how hard he played. Now, obviously everyone's going to look at his points and rebounds. I think a lot of that was a byproduct of his effort. That's as hard as he's played defensively for that long in a game all season. And it's interesting, when you have the right frame of mind and you play that way defensively, then it's amazing how oftentimes your offense will flow from there. And I really thought that's what happened to him on Sunday. And we had some other guys that made some big-time physical, energetic plays. We just need to do that more consistently. And I showed them the contrast of clips today where we gave ridiculous effort. You know, we call them Mattos in honor of Matt Heldman. And we had more in the game on Sunday than we've had in the game all year. So we competed and showed some resiliency. And just needed to make a play or two more, and hopefully we can do that in Indy.
You know, with Malcolm, I mean, you've asked him to do a lot, and we've talked a lot about his versatility and ability to play 1 through 4 and maybe sometimes 5. Just what does it mean to say that he can adjust his game accordingly when he goes from around the point, maybe for a few possessions, and then he's back at the 4?
Yeah, it's indicative or speaks of his versatility, Scott. He's really versatile. Part of that is skill set. Part of that is mentality. Part of that is size. You know, if he was 6'1", probably wouldn't be able to play, you know, as many positions. So one of the things with the size, at 6'6" and 225, 230, and he's pretty physically strong. You know, he's able to do that. So I think it really just speaks. You know, the one word I would say that would probably summarize it, or, you know, would be just versatility.
Kendrick's obviously had some struggles here just from the field. I've asked you this before. Think, is it injuries? Is it Big Ten scouting? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think obviously teams are gearing towards him more. But part of it is, you know, making some of the good ones he's getting, Jeremy, And part of it's taking some better ones and being patient. Sometimes that's hard to do when you're a scorer, but we've, worked with him here the last couple of days to kind of show him, what that looks like. And, I think he has a pretty good picture of that heading into Indianapolis. But, we're going to need him to make a couple more.
Coach, I don't know how much of a big picture you're taking at this week. I know you take a heck of a run to get a postseason opportunity. Do you talk about that at all with the players, or what the goals are for the week?
No, for us, we've just talked about trying to get our name to the next line on the bracket. That's really all we've talked about. And then we'll come up from there. That's what everybody's trying to do. But I think as soon as you start to, think about, I've talked to them a lot about being 0-0, Matt. As soon as you start thinking about like Sunday's game or 2 weeks ago's game or what's going to look like on Friday or Saturday, then I just think that's a recipe for disaster. We've got to focus in on Minnesota. We had a good practice today, and our objective and our goal is to get our name to the next line on that bracket. Lauren?
If you had a 16-team league, it only takes 4 games to get the championship. We got a 14-team league, and it takes 5.
Yeah.
Has it occurred to you that maybe not doing this right in terms of the way this is set up, or maybe they are doing it right?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I really haven't thought about it just because, I say this all the time, but there's certain things I can control and I can't control. But I'll give you this, it's an interesting thought. I have not thought about it, Lauren, to be truthful, in terms of how the bracket's constructed or the decision that was made to put it together that way. So I don't know really if I have an opinion one way or the other. I'll get back to you on that when I get some time to think about it. But it kind of just is what it is. And the bracket's out.
Nobody's asked in 5 games in 5 days, ever.
I think UConn may have with Kemba.
Well, they won 2.
Yeah, did they? Yeah. Yeah.
They won 2 in 1 day. Remember that?
Yeah. Was that when they had the facility issue with rain or something? Maybe Jordan. Yeah. Almost fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah. That ironclad memory of yours is kicking in. Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier about, preparing for teams, third time you played Minnesota now, and teams are what they are. With all that Minnesota's gone through, is it any more difficult to prepare for them?
That's a great question. It is unique, because they played a certain way now for 3 games, including our last game against them. And really another way for 1 game, because King's been out. King played in 2 of the last 3 and was deemed out after the Wisconsin home game. So that is unique. I'll give you that. It's a little bit unique. In terms of, defenses they're playing, at least up to this point, things they're running, and some of those things are similar. But that part is a little bit unique. Yeah, there's no question about that.
I would imagine a lot of 12 seeds are kind of looking forward to the end of the season, but from your standpoint today, practice.
No, yeah, we just don't. They follow, hopefully follow our leadership, and I'm not just meaning our coaches, but our players too. I mean, Tracy does a good job. Obviously, it's a little harder when you're on the sitting and not out there playing during the course of the game to lead. But he's a prime example. Like he would, he might give. You'd have to ask him, but he might be interested in giving a body part to play this game tomorrow. When you go through that, like he has, like I think he will tell you, don't take anything for granted. Great opportunity. Everybody's sitting at 0-0. We can't control what's happened in the past, but we can control our attitude, effort, our execution, our resiliency tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern time. And so that's what we're focused in on. And we're excited to compete tomorrow and get a fresh start here.
Off topic, but have you got the chance to talk to Lovie Smith and kind of just what's the atmosphere been like around campus?
Yeah, just a little bit. Obviously, we've been busy in prep and was at the press conference yesterday. Had a chance to meet him there, and then saw him again last night at our radio show. So it was great meeting him. My reaction, because my wife asked me, is kind of what I thought it would be. In terms of very poised and as very dignified. Obviously I read, and I said this yesterday, a lot of Tony Dungy's stuff. I have a great deal of respect for him, and I know Lovey has a connection with him, and I've always kind of viewed him that way as a guy who mentors players and his integrity, and certainly at first glance, I think that's what you absorb, when you're around him. But I'm looking forward to getting to know him better.
What can that do, even for your program, to have a big name like that, just synonymous with the Illinois brand?
Yeah, I think it's great, obviously. It's no secret. I mean, I've been in places where you've got multiple sports all rolling at the same time. It's fun. It's great for everybody. I said yesterday, the more successful all of us are, the more it helps the community, the more it helps the university, the more it helps the athletic department. We're all in this together, exactly like he said yesterday, and I think it's great. I think it's terrific. I think it does help the Illinois brand. I think it helps a lot of different things. We're just excited that he's here now and he's on campus, and we're glad that he's a part of our department.
Kind of back to Malcolm. Was he a guy that you could ask to play 4 positions and lead and score, rebound, distribute like he has? I mean, is he a guy that you can approach like that?
He kind of got forced to, Scott. He had to. And a lot of those things he was ready for through his experience, his hard work. And he's really a great kid over the course of the last 2 years. Some of the things were new for him that we asked. Some of the things are, you have to fight to get better at certain things, or do things that maybe you haven't done before, or and not even so much that, but maybe instead of having 2 or 3 things on your plate, maybe all of a sudden now it's 4 or 5. So I think all of that has been a great learning experience for him, and is going to make him a better player, a better person, more appreciative. He's I think some of those things are just kind of like the situation that we were in. He was almost, he had to step up in a lot of those areas, and not to say that he was fighting us on any of those areas. He's a great kid, but some of those things you have to work. Some things in life you're a little bit more inclined or naturally gifted at. Other things you have to work to develop a skill set in certain things. And he's been open-minded and really worked. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to make him better. It's going to make our program better, and it's really a win all the way around.
With everything that's happened this year, has your, both on the court and off, has your sell changed to recruits, or are you on the same path as you've always been?
No, I don't think it's changed a whole lot, because I believe in where we're going. I think, I believe in this place, first of all. I believe in this university. I believe in our program. I believe in our staff. I believe in our players. I believe in the way in which we do things. I believe in our culture. That doesn't mean that we can't get, we're always looking for ways to get better and seeking excellence in every single thing that we do. I've got a staff that's about our guys first and foremost, and helping them grow. And so none of that's really changed. Obviously we've been through some, the last couple of years we've been through some kind of unforeseen, circumstances, and you've got to, use those. You can view those hurdles as obstacles or opportunities. We view them as opportunities. I think that, and we haven't, nothing's changed on our end in terms of the great university this is, our tradition, where we're going, how we're going to do it. Obviously, the new arena, that's a big difference from our first year. That's great. I just think for us the most important thing is to stay the course, and be aggressive still. We like to be aggressive in everything we're doing, whether it's recruiting or whatever. But sometimes you have to be willing to have some patience and perspective. And, we've certainly tried to do that as well, while at the same time pushing forward, controlling what we can control. But, I'm excited. I'm excited to, see what is here in front of us for season 3. I'm excited to continue recruiting. I'm excited for the building to continue to be renovated. I'm excited about, as Jeremy said, Coach Smith joining the athletic department. There's a lot of great things, and we're going to continue to piggyback those things and keep pushing and eventually get here to where we all want to go. That belief hasn't changed, and that sell really hasn't changed, to be honest.
Joe, when you're recruiting, how big of a factor is recruits playing together, like in the same class? Like how big?
I think it depends on the kid, Jeremy. In my experience over the 20-some years or whatever doing it, as assistant head coach, depends on the kid. Some kids that's really important. Some kids it's not as important. Some group of guys it's maybe kind of important or not as. Some group of guys it's really important. So I just think it depends on, every situation is so different fluid. So I just think that's really particular to each individual situation.
Has your recruiting approach changed over the years? I know that venues and everything else make a difference, and the coaches, obviously, Coach Smith. Have you evolved into a different approach with kids now, or are you the same as you were?
Well, obviously, we know more about Illinois now than we did when I first got here. You know, you try to educate yourself as quickly as you can, and I had a great feel for the place before, but now you know even more, and which is good. I think, you know, we've had and understand, you know, what our blueprint's going to be. You wrinkle that and adjust that a little bit, Brett, but honestly, at our core, we're not changing our core. We're not changing our core values. We're not going to change our culture. We're not going to change our approach to academics, you know, in terms of its importance, you know, our player development, you know, all those things that we take a lot of pride in and put a lot of time into, those things are going to stay the same. We know that they work. We got to stay the course. Anything else? Anything from the phone lines?
Don't hear anything.
They whacked up. Top, did you have no questions? Must not be on there.
Anything else in the room?
All right, guys. See some of you over at Indy, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.